Aha! Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well today. So, welcome to Drakenmemoria. For those who might be wondering what this is, well, it's Dungeons and Dragons, and more specifically, a group of people playing Dungeons and Dragons. So, for those of you who are returning from a past episode, welcome back. For those of you who are new, welcome among us. And for those of you who are there because they don't know what they're doing, they're bored, they took whatever was the first, someone said, hey, come watch this with me. To each and every one of you, welcome among us. It is a pleasure to have you with us. And feel free to say hi in the chat. While I will have a lot of trouble answering, I am sure at least one player in our group will notice it and say hi. Alright. And remember, we are trying to reach the 50 followers on Twitch. Because once we reach that, we can actually activate subscribers. So if you're watching and you're not a follower, it would be greatly appreciated. Alright, so now that the shameless promotion is over, let's get started with the recap. So, the party. It's a bit annoying to say that every time. I wish you'd all find a name. The party had left the garden to find their first quest, hunting a humber elk, which they managed to do and survive, even though everyone was a bit worried they wouldn't. They ventured out, they made new friends, they killed a humber elk, discovered a few strange things, lived through weird moments, frustrating moments, and debilitating moments for some. And they all made their way back to the garden, still alive, a little bit wiser. Oh, well, for some. And with one more level. Finally! Yay! They all got their rewards. They all handed in their bounties. They got to learn a little bit more about one very strange hero who joined the garden. And now everyone is slowly drifting off to their own business as the day was ending, with the audience wishing to have a bit of a social moment with people. But also, we had Fisher, who had many questions and things he wanted to research. And so this episode starts in the calm between quests, where everyone is left to their own business, trying to figure out, how can I buy something which will help me survive the next quest? Or learn something which will help me survive the next quest. And so,
Okay, no los dos.
and so, this is where we start tonight. And we start with Audience, because he was the one who was a bit left out at the end of the episode.
Yes.
So, Audience, all of your friends have mostly left you alone, as you have asked, and you find yourself mostly alone in this huge inn with one of your closer friend, we'd say, at the bottom level, another one just a level below, and one possibly coming back in a few minutes because he just realized that the day was ending, so mostly just gonna go get a few things and then come back, which was a few minutes ago, so he's probably just about to come back. And so, Audience, what do you do?
Well, once everyone had left, I will go up to the board that I was at, and I will first click on the red list, and I will look through the names of those that have fallen, and see if I recognize any of them.
No, you don't recognize any of them. There's only one name right now. So it's apparently the first to have joined the garden who has fallen, most likely during a quest. And you don't recognize it. It's not someone that you've talked to or that has identified themselves. You do recognize that it is most likely a halfling name. Feels like the normal for a halfling. So his name was Olnam. And not a lot of information is written on it, except that he will always be remembered by his fellow adventurers who were with him when he fell, and two of them actually wrote something underneath that he was so brave and he fought to the last moment and this is what made it possible for them to evacuate and survive this dire encounter. Deep inside.
Did I find out? Is there a way for me to check what the encounter was that they failed with a quest?
Well, I'd say make an intelligence roll. I will give you advantage because it's, from your perspective, literally been 10 minutes. So.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'll take an 11.
All right. That's
over 10. I'll always take anything over 10 with audience.
That's good. The DC was 10. So so you think about it, and you remember seeing... hold on, I closed the list of names.
Caharthane?
Exactly.
Is that the one you're looking for at the gunman?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll put it on the other screen. All right, so you remember seeing him play with one quest specifically, which updated it at a higher level, and because it's that and what they wrote in their goodbyes to this adventurer, it was the quest where you were supposed to go gather herbs. They were apparently fungal herbs inside a cave. But there is an unknown monster now written on the description of the quest. A bit of a statement from the two that survived this quest is that they entered this place, and after maybe looking for an hour, they found the mushrooms that the moss and mushrooms that they needed to find. But suddenly, the vegetation started to attack them.
Ah. All right. Then I will go over to that quest after giving a small prayer to the dragons for the fallen hero. Mental, just pointing it out. I will click on the quest, and I want to see what color it turns for me.
For you?
Quest board laughs.
Oh, you think I'm not about to go through all the quests?
For you specifically,
That's a frowny face.
all right. It would be yellow.
Not red. That's just me. Okay. I'll take that. I'll give a nod.
To the
I'll say-
board.
To myself.
Yeah, board.
Just kind of the nod of interesting. Okay.
Just look at that. Yeah, you know what's up.
Mad
And then
respect.
I'm gonna take a little bit of time before, since I have some time before, I think Kahar Thane said he was gonna come back and I was gonna buy him a drink or water because they don't drink.
Well, it's just it
I-
doesn't have any effect on him. So
Yeah. So, but so I'm gonna take a little time. I'm gonna scroll through some of the quests I see, and also maybe look at some of the names that go along with them. Just kind of seeing what people are up to.
okay. All right. So from what you can tell, a few people are really distinguishing themselves because their name comes back very often, and less is maybe excluding all of you, maybe 20 or so names appears on at least 2 quests, and only a few appear on several quests. Among those who are very prominent in this page, you find you actually see Tesul's name, who's there. He seems to have taken a lot of escort quests. Usually things which are in very dangerous environment, like escorting a mineral wagon in the middle of a mountain pass that is quite literally infested with goblins and orcs. It is apparently the 5th time the dwarves are trying to send this caravan. They've lost almost 50 members of their caravan so far. They desperately need help. This is the kind of quest he takes. And there are 5 or 6 quests like this. One is in the mountain. You see one in the elven territory that he has accepted, which is a bit shrouded in mystery, but you get the feeling that he has to take some sort of artifact from one point to the next. But it's unfortunately draws attention from other shards when it's moved. So it's one of those things that you can suddenly find yourself in front of a very powerful monster. There is also one for him, which is on the sea. He's apparently taking another boating trip sometime soon. But going directly from the southernmost port to the northernmost port. You also see the name of Kor Tarash, the Orc Blade Master. His name is everywhere on the board. He has taken every single excessively dangerous hunting missions. You see quests like gathering saliva from a living dragon as it is pushed out of its mouth by breathing out its breath weapon. Apparently there's a mage who wants death. You see someone wants 3 feather from the tail feather of a thunderbird. You see a quest for an audience. You'd probably know what this is because of how long you spent at sea going from your home village to the Mistal Island chain. He is hunting a sea creature, which you know is so large that usually even warship try to avoid it. You can even see a small picture with it, where you see it's most likely been taken on a boat while looking at another boat. And you see on this other boat this huge jagged reef behind it. But it takes a moment for your head to realize that the shape of the reef, which is taller than the other boat, and that boat is one made to go between island chains. So it is large, heavy, well armored, and extremely well armed. But this huge jagged reef, which is taller than the boat itself, it takes a moment for your mind to adjust, but you finally see it. Oh, it's the spine of the creature you're hunting. Apparently, he has to take a scale from that. So these are the quests that he is taking. And of course, as soon as you look at them, they're all red. Bright red.
Yeah, no. Audience will look a little bit annoyed and scroll past. Butter, something about gotta get stronger. Got stupid taking all the.
Well, it was part of the dream. You need to get stronger. You also see the name of Corrivant and Amiali come up several times. Apparently, she's taken every single job about scouting. From all the quests that she took, you can easily see that she was to go completely south and make her way to every single major city inside of the Eastern Island to evaluate if there was a possibility to open a gate. And right now, she finished Soutien, and she is on her way to another one. And looking at how long it's been since you left, she's moving really fast. You also see several quests on the name of someone that you don't know, but there's a sort of feeling that you remember hearing the name. Might have been a bit of a drunken moment, but the name is Neisa, and she has several diplomatic missions taken. So negotiating with different nobles to get access to region, to receive riches, minerals, different spices. So she mostly takes negotiations, and there are 5 or 6 of them. You sort of get a small impression in your mind that you might have seen her during that night where you lost track of time because you were trying to impress Amiali with your drinking ability.
I'm gonna guess she was the elf that was really good at archery, but that's a complete guess. I don't actually know.
Actually, not archery, bard. The elf good at archery was actually a half-elf, and she was at another moment. Unfortunately, you don't know her name because you you didn't ask it. You do see the name of the turtle that's just downstairs on a few quests. You do see that from time to time, his name and the name of the elf that you just looked at do coincide, but sometimes they don't. So apparently they're on and off partners. So he too has taken several quests for negotiations, but he also has taken a few quests for protection, mainly protecting natural landmark. You do see a quest about protecting a grove. You see one protecting a very intriguing mineral formation inside a mountain. And he's been thinking about how he takes this, because when you look at the names of the places, you see that it makes a very defined path that goes up a bit, then in the Elven territory, then up, then... So although he appears to be a very playful and maybe spontaneous person, you get the feeling that he also has a very well planned and thought out way of thinking. A few names you don't know what they are. Cooldown which you often see appearing beside Kehazin. The resonance of the name does tell you that they're most likely dragonborns, but you don't associate their name with someone. They appear a few times, always together. Small quests, nothing very big. One is getting something inside near the edge of the woods of the Elven Forest, and another retrieval, which is on the other side where the mountains are. And finally, you do notice one last name that you know that pops out. Hold on, human cleric. You see Cathin's name. She's currently out, but she is investigating the quest that you asked to be added to the board about a base of the hunter cult supposedly being built northward at the edge of the mountain.
Wait, was Cathin's... Oh, yeah. Okay, she was the red-haired cleric. I have it.
Yeah.
I got it. Yes. Okay, I'm right on that. What color is that quest specifically for me? I'm actually interested.
This quest, right now, this quest is green, but it is specified to be scouting.
Okay. Just wanted to know. Keep an eye on that. Have to remember to talk to her when I next see her. Okay.
A lot of the other names, they really don't tell you a lot. You do notice that one name that you've heard, Nialuka, which is the ranger that came with all of you, actually has a completed quest and no other quest taken right now. So she might be somewhere inside the garden. Among the other names that you see Longshot, that you remember is a friend of Tobiyashi. You see name that you don't associate with anyone, Zeal, Zeal. You see also a pair that seem to be doing a quest right now, Demis and Lucen.
Are they Sharoons?
Demis and Lucen, the resonance of the name doesn't speak of Sharoon.
I'm trying to remember of all the people I saw. No, okay.
Well, I'm giving you names of those who come up at least once on the board or twice. That
Okay.
feels a bit more important. There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people, and there's roughly 50 people that join the garden. So there's a lot of those that the name just don't appear, or they're doing very, very small quests, like going to a city, getting something, and that's the only quest they're doing.
Right. Okay, I think I got it. I was mostly just to update my notes, see what people were up to.
You do see another name, Olnath, that appears twice. One village which has asked for protection, and one village who was asked for knowledge.
Interesting.
Lofieralis, which yes, you do know him. He was sitting next to Cathin the first time you met her, which is a elven wizard.
Yes, I remember him. He did not like me, or didn't seem to like me very much.
He was indifferent, very indifferent. All
Dude,
of his
if you're indifferent to me, I assume that means you don't like me. I could be
Okay.
indifferent.
So he really was borderline between like and don't like you. All of his quests are in elven territories, and so they have very few details. What about any other names that you might have seen? Datran does come a bit more. Feels like either humans or half human by the resonance of the name, but you're not sure why, which. You've never seen this. You see a name, Siaraf. Again, could be human, but it's a bit exotic, so most likely half human and something else. You see a very long name, which means most likely a gnome. Calm, Baron's True Shot, Twinkle Toe, Silver Eyes. So most likely a gnome.
Yep. Not adding that one to my notes. We'll skip that one.
And that's about it. That's the name that come up more than once.
Okay.
I could go for the rest of the 20 other names.
It's all right. I got mostly the people I know, which are like, you don't have to go through another 20 names. Yeah, no, that's fine. And then also the last thing I will do at the board is just look and see, besides that one quest, what other open quests look like open for me and are yellow or green.
Yellow or green. All right. Hold on. Let me get the map. All right.
And I'm not put with the party yet, right?
They
my
know
name
that
hasn't
they
been
know that
put-
you travel with them, but so far you haven't officially been a part of them. So
So this is basing it though off just my individual, like whether I would just out solo survive or
Well,
whether our party would survive.
it's it's all based on that. But the way that it was explained to you, I'd say you're not sure, because they did say that they know that you, Anvara, Fisher, and Remy traveled together.
Okay,
but they-
but not Valtieri, so we would add that in.
And you haven't
No,
been.
yeah, I'm still just gonna look at yellow and green.
All right. So, you do see a quest at the Twin Lakes. The Twin Lakes are the two lakes that you passed on your way to the mountain. There's apparently a strange creature which has appeared in the Twin Lakes that has been unsettling a lot of travelers. And the garden is interested in knowing more about the creature, mostly because they haven't heard of anyone killed by the creature, but a lot of people frightened, and especially caravans. So, aggressive, but maybe not legal.
Okay.
You see a few quests appearing for the city of... Good lord, I kept saying it all weeks because one of you asked me questions about it, and now I can't. It's not coming out. One of the major northern capital cities. Otanel. Oh goodness, that was hard. All right. You actually do see several quests from it. There is, of course, the one with the mushroom, which is the mosses and mushroom, which is not far from there, but a bit off in a small village north of there. But inside the city, there are several quests. One of them is protection. They've heard about a caravan wishing to be protected as they make their way southward toward the another of the major city of the Eastern Island. They're a group of merchants from another island chain, and they apparently just arrived there, which is a bit odd because, as far as you know, the closest seaport is nearly a week and a half away from that. So how can someone have there simply appeared there is a puzzle and not mentioned inside the quest. There is a quest not too far from here, where you are right now, which is directly on the edge. Sorry, I'm going to rephrase that. There is a quest not too far from the city that I was talking about, which is on the edge of the forest. Apparently, there's been strange lights appearing near where the road connects with the forest. So a way that elves usually take to come out of there and reach the city of Otanel. There's been strange light described as pink-ish light. They appeared during the one night, and there have been sightings of an odd creature traveling nearby.
Oh, wait. Were the lights we saw pink?
Yes.
Can I roll an intelligence check for that? Or do I...
No, but, well...
Yeah. But I was told about it. I don't remember if they told me because I was asleep.
Yeah.
The strange lights we saw.
That's
No, they
right.
definitely talked about the lights, and they even reported it to the garden themselves.
Yes, but I
that's
don't
your
remember if they
lights-
said they were pink.
Your light, yeah. All right. Roll intelligence, and you're right. You didn't see them. You were told of them.
Yeah. I don't remember if they mentioned it. 9.
9. Well, the description does have a few similarities to what Fisher said happened during that night, but not having seen it, they could have been pink. You think that there might have been 3 or 4 of them falling? You're not sure, and this one says that there was 3 lights coming down. So feels very similar, but yeah, you're not sure.
I'll remember to mention it. Okay. I won't be sure. I'll remember to mention it to them when I'm talking to them about quests. Okay.
And there is a research quest asked from a mage who apparently found a cache of tomes and scrolls inside the mountain north of Otanel. Most likely something from an abandoned laboratory, which in Estrin is a bit rare because Estrin isn't that old. So this would probably have been from one of the first settlers, which is less than 400 years ago. And the garden is interested in this because they're interested in any old knowledge of this world. But the sorcerer, the wizard itself, who is in the city of Otanel, is proposing a reward in gold to be negotiated when you get there.
Okay. I will... I don't have anything. I will turn back towards... and call out, does anybody have a piece of paper and a pen I can borrow?
Right, yeah. You hear one gnome who coming from a corner. Of course. Who doesn't have paper? You should
I
always
find
have
myself,
paper.
I find myself, unfortunately, without it.
Oh. All right. Hold on. And he turns around, takes a satchel, comes to you. And what kind of paper do you need? And he starts pulling out different kinds of paper. You have colored
Just
paper.
any paper I can take some notes on.
Note paper. Do you want...
Puts away the confetti.
Do you want a rigid one? I have waterproof note paper.
I don't think we'll need anything that sturdy. Just something simple.
Oh,
Thank you.
all right. He reaches down, takes a piece of paper, and about it looks like something that was torn out of a scroll. And well, here then. He hands
Thank you
you
very
a piece of paper, maybe half the size of a standard sheet of paper.
All right. I will write down the open quests up by Othanel, and then I will put that in my backpack and be like, say thank you.
You're welcome. Remember, don't rub potato juice on it. It'll dissolve.
I will try.
Okay.
Did you say potato juice or tomato juice?
Yeah, he said potato juice.
By the way, if anyone was gonna ask, yes, audience does know how to write and read. So let's just
I'm just imagining now, audience, just like, oh wait, hold on, I need to finish my French fries.
Excuse me 1 second.
We just crunch this raw potato over this parchment.
Delicious.
And then he sees a
Starch.
fly and starts trying to squash the fly with his half-eaten potato. And then
Alright. Done for the board.
This was totally unavoidable.
I guess done for the board at that time.
okay.
I will head back to the bar and order a drink for me. I'll say barkeeper's choice, but something alcoholic, and a water for the core. I just took a ton of notes. Kahar thing, and I'll find a table where it would be pretty easy to see me if he came in, and I'll set them down.
All right. So the innkeeper looks at you and something decided by me. All right. As long as it's alcoholic, are there any other criteria?
I would like to be able to have conversation while drinking it. So
Oh, that. All right. That always helps. All right. So something like this, and he turns around, and you hear something bubbling, falling, and then he gives you a pint of something. It has a bit of a spicy taste. But you can definitely drink a few of those before having trouble following your conversation.
all right. And how much will that be?
Actually, you're the first one who tastes it, so we'll go with 1 cupper, and depending on what you tell me it tastes, I'll judge for later uses.
Okay. Well, then I guess I gotta roll a. How much? What do I think it tastes like? I do not like it. Not a big
Cobalt
fan.
piss and ethanol.
No, the alcohol is pretty mild, but there is a sweet taste to it when you. And
I'm not a sweet man. I'm a spicy man. We know from the Jello.
yeah, so yeah, it's sort of an odd sweet taste that it gives you images of or ideas of cinnamon mixed with honey,
Okay.
a lot of honey.
Okay. I won't tell him. I'll just take it back. Do the thing where I sip it, go kind of like, set it down, and do the thing where you nurse alcohol that you don't really like very much.
Gives the false impression that you really like it, but you're going it very slowly because it's that good.
And I'll wait. So we could go to some of the other people.
All right then. We're gonna go with Anvara and Fisher, since you're the one who have been waiting for the longest. Last the camera was on you. You were walking together. So, are you staying together? Are you both going your separate way, or you've just gotten the reward? Sorry, the reward for handing in the minerals.
Mm-hmm. How late is it?
Making your way back. It's probably getting somewhere in the area of 9 p.m. 9:30.
Okay. Um,
Usually, when you're walking in the world, it's usually started your fire by then. Not
Mhm.
asleep, but it's gonna come.
we're kind of a ways away from everywhere, right?
Well, you don't know about Valtari and Remy for sure, but if there's
Not everyone, like to get somewhere else in the garden, it's gonna take a while.
well, it depends. Like I said, it's roundish in shape, and you're on one side. If you want to go on the opposite sides, which would be uh, roughly between the at the edge of the. Why am I having so much trouble today? Um, of the quarters, civilian quarters, and command quarter. So if you want to go there, it's going to take you about an hour and a half. Anywhere
Hmm.
else will take less and less and less time. So where you are, you could just go up and you'd find yourself in the commercial quarter. So 10 minutes and you would find yourself in the middle of a lot of closed shop. From there, the closest thing would be either the garrison or the research quarter. You've never been there at night, so you don't know if wardens do research throughout the night or not.
Hmm. Is the research quarter same as the library?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it's the same one.
Uh, yeah. Um, I'm gonna head to the library for a little bit.
All right. What about you, Anbara?
Um, I'm gonna have to turn in because I have some stuff to prepare alone. So I'm probably gonna be heading to my quarters,
Okay.
if that's okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, everything's closed, so she's just gonna go ahead and chill on her own. She has a spell to prepare.
All right. Well, the first one to reach his destination would most likely be Fisher. So, Fisher, what do you want to do when you get there?
Um,
There's not a lot of people. When you get there, the first thing that you do notice is there's, as odd as it feels to say this, there's no one alive. But you
Uh-huh.
do see a lot of wardens.
that's offensive.
There's not a lot of
Uh,
beating heart right now inside the
There you
research
go.
core. There's a lot of warden. They're still going about their business. You do see a few half elves going about. You think that there might actually be a night shift in all of this. Um, but gnomes, dwarves, humans, and anyone from the garden, you actually don't see anyone like that.
Um, do I see Theodrin?
Make a perception roll.
Oh, synthetic 20.
Ooh, synthetic 20. That's the first one I hear that. All right. Well, in that case, yeah, yes, you actually do. Because there's so few people, it doesn't take too long, and you do notice alone on the research table with maybe a dozen of books open in front of her. She is currently, you're not sure, studying, researching, but she's there.
Hmm. Um, I'm not sure if I wrote it down, but fucking My notes are all over the place.
That's all right.
The if I remember correctly, the dwarf that we just sold everything to, he said I should talk to her if I wanted to learn about the Hakaneth, right?
That she was
Okay.
one who knew a lot about it.
Okay.
You could ask someone else, but she does have. She's a more prominent researcher of the garden, so by default, her nose is in every bit of knowledge that you gather, or probably that comes from their own world.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll approach. Kind of knock on the table that she's got all the books all over.
You knock on the table, and you hear a little giggle coming from her. And I am not in a room. You can address me without knocking first.
I know how people get with books. I didn't want to.
Oh, that's quite all right. I notice you entering the library. You entered on the second level. So
Yeah. So recently, we found a rather large deposit of copper Hakanite.
oh, the Harkonite. Yes, I was actually very surprised of this. It's the first time that we hear that your world actually has that. Um, it's more and it's been a lot more rare these last few thousand years to find them.
Well, I mean, oh, what do you know about it? Because from what I've heard, it's being copper. It's not as what some people had hoped, but it could still be used for
Well,
magic stuff.
that usually depends more on who you ask, because different types will be better for different things. For magic, copper is usually the better one. For making objects, the brass one is usually very interesting. For those who have a higher calling toward deities or who enjoy the life of bardic inspirations, the silver one is usually the most interesting one. Of course, the gold one is always very loved by everyone. It is very good to make magical arts, which have seen very interesting object made out of those. If you've ever encountered
Like sculptures?
well, I'd say something a bit more lively than this, but yes, you could. What's interesting about the gold one is that it can focus a lot of energy, and this can be used in the making of many and very intriguing arts. Arts which seems to be alive, no matter what type of art it is. As much painting, sculpting. it's not necessarily a good thing to give to a gnome if you don't want to get chased by your own cereal bowl in the morning. But it's definitely interesting for those. So gold, silver, copper, the bronze one. Well, definitely the bronze and brass are usually more sought after for weapons and armor. Granted, their non-magical counterpart are a bit soft, but when enhanced in such a way, they can make armors and weapons of a quality much higher than any steel you can find.
When you say non-magical counterpart, do you mean...
Regular brass and...
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah, no, that makes sense. So then, now that we brought in, or there is a source of a large amount of copper, what specifically would that be used for?
Well, some will most likely try and make weapons and armor, because it is better than normal steel, even tempered steel. It will make something of a higher quality, very useful for adding enchantments on. But where it shines the most is making magical object, usually used by wizards, sorcerers, anyone using the arcane a lot.
Like a focus.
It can be used as a focus. Treatment is different, but it will work, and if done properly, it might even make a focus a bit stronger than normal.
There are a lot of people here who know how to work with it.
Most of this expedition, at least the working members of this expedition, are new to this. This is why most of them were not cleared to leave the garden. They have to remain here because of all the restrictions that we had to accept when we came here. Many of them came here because they were very excited in learning about a new world and finding minerals, materials, knowledge. A few people came who had a lot of knowledge. One of those being, I believe, the one that you submitted this the mineral when you came in. Dael, he is a very experienced dwarf. Most of his experience is in smelting stuff. No, not so much building, but he will be able to extract every single bit of material from what you brought, leaving only behind propertyless rocks. So definitely those with more experience like him came, but most of the shop owners are explorers at heart who never actually came. So for a lot of them it will be a new experience, but since for us it is not unknown, we do have a lot of books which can help them figure this out.
I need bookmarks in my notes.
That's all right. My notes are already the size of a small book, so it's
Um, no.
Do you want me to give you a few minutes to gather your things? I can go to someone else.
I'll find it later.
Alright.
In the meantime, well, it was. Thanks, for the information.
Alright.
Um, anything, any new interesting stuff you guys have gotten into the library since past couple days?
Oh, well. Not a lot. Not a lot of people actually came back from their first quest. But
Came back yet or came back?
came back yet.
Okay.
No, we've had a few people. We've added a lot of quests. A lot of exploration. We have to be honest about this. It's very intriguing, your world. There are several things that are very different. And I hope you won't mind me saying this. It's quite a young world that you have.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
As far as I can tell, your entire civilization on this world is no more than 5,000 years old.
was that something I was familiar with?
It's general history of the world.
Okay.
It's very general. History goes back to roughly 4,500 years ago, when the shattering is believed to have happened. The exact date you might not remember, but it's the extremely general knowledge of the world. From your perspective, it's your world, so it's
Yeah.
you know
I was gonna say.
it's a bit.
I mean, yeah, I haven't. There's nothing really for me to compare that to. So, it's, I guess, kind of obvious by the fact that you guys aren't from here and you have this. But
Well, this, as you so elegantly put it, is the result of something I hope your world will never have to face.
that's ominous.
It was for us.
Man.
It's not something you'd be willing to elaborate on, would it? I know how you guys are with.
Try and
Other
imagine
stuff.
your version of the apocalypse. We are those who survived.
Fair enough.
From your perspective, the only real vision of apocalypse, with the exception of religion, would be the idea of the shattering itself, which is
Yeah,
the
that's
same
what
for
I was-
everyone. Everyone residing on a huge floating continent, falling from the sky and surviving that.
Hmm.
So aside from religious belief of one God saying this is how it's supposed to end, this is the only fact that would be as drastic as the apocalypse for you.
Hmm.
So in a way, you can sort of feel like, all right, they say they survived this, so maybe us Maybe that's us in another 5,000 years.
Mm-hmm. Uh, do you think are you guys the only people who made it out?
Oh no, definitely not. It's been quite a while. For us, since these events have ended, it has been longer than your world has been there. And the events leading up to this went on for so long, even dragons forgot when it started.
How many? Does that mean only the?
Our calendar starts after surviving, and it is already well beyond the 5,000 years. But before that, the challenges of surviving lasted for so long that not even dragon legends speak of its beginning.
How many people here currently were there when you guys left?
How many people saw this, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, the garden was originally salvaged from one of the fortress who survived all this. So it might actually have been there at that time, so long ago. But we have quite a few interesting creatures in the garden. One you might have noticed, short fellow, look like a knight using a chainmail poncho. His race is different. Let's just say that their version of reincarnation is included in their design. So if he's there, it means his soul was there during those times. I doubt very much he still remembers those times, but his soul was. For everyone else, most of the Warden, I believe, were built in the last 500 years. As for the heart-beating variety, well, our longevity is very similar to those of your world, so I believe this answers that question.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. One last question. When you ran all those tests on me,
Yes.
you said some of the more recent repairs / remodels of my form
Yes.
were done, let's just say, less than optimally.
Well, definitely we can see a difference in the workmanship of these modification. The oldest part of you seems to have been made very long time ago and by someone extremely skillful, and everything else there is a very impressive drop in quality. With your first refitting, and then it starts increasing again. But it's still not what it was originally.
Seeing as you guys seem to be at least decently skilled with constructs, is there any chance of fixing that?
Oh, that's a very interesting question. Well, I'll have to be honest. I'm not sure. It would help us if we could get more example of you. How your kind is usually built in your world. We need things to compare it to. If you could find someone maybe that was built in a similar time, or schematics, or maybe someone who is from the same places as you. Have something to compare it with.
Mm-hmm.
If you can find that, we could possibly try. At least restoring part of you. I don't know if we could restore everything, but we could at least try.
Yeah, that would be. I'll keep a lookout.
All right.
Thanks.
You're very welcome. Come back anytime.
Then I'll leave.
Then she goes back to her things.
I'll just head back to my room.
All right. Anvara, you are going on your own, doing your own stuff. What is that, your own stuff?
I needed to prepare some stuff because I realized during my travels I had maybe not been using the correct assortment of spells at my disposal. Because Warding Bond is an actual shit heap of a spell. It's like, yeah, let me take that damage with you. No, why? So yeah, that was mostly what I was gonna do, and
All right.
try to find like if there are like any specialty shops. Like,
Well, yes. None open at that time of the night.
yeah,
But of course, there are a lot of pillars, and like I said, each pillar is specialized around one thing. So you have a pillar for leather armor, a pillar for metal armor, a pillar for melee weapons, ranged weapon, potions, magical object, crystals, art
any
object.
general. Okay, I was mostly just wondering if there was like a jeweler or something nearby. Like if I just went to like scout out to make sure like I knew where things were
Okay.
in the future. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. You have the feeling that they feel generally very secure inside the garden, or that they have a security, or that there are security elements that you cannot see, because no one's really checking the stores. No one's making sure that everything is closed and no one can steal. There's minimal security in there.
Yeah, no, Anvara's not gonna try to rob a fucking store. Don't worry
But
about
what I mean is that you can move
Yeah.
about the commercial quarters extremely freely. You cross maybe
Right.
one or two warden in the whole time that you are there, and even though you sometimes stop and watch inside one of the windows and try and see inside, you are actually surprised by A warden that you turn around and he's just slowly walking by and just gives you a and keeps on walking.
All right. All right. If I can just do that, and I guess I'll also. Yeah, that's it. I was gonna go back to my room and write a letter to someone. Well, to some people, actually.
All right. Well,
Can I find parchment? Because I do not have that in my bag, and I don't know if there's any available in my room.
if there's no, your room was pretty empty. It was made for you to be able to put in whatever you wanted. So yeah,
Okay.
you have empty shelves and empty desk drawers and one orb, which is pretty much fills the same role as a prestidigitation cantrip. So it can clean you up, it can soil you, it can warm the room, make it more cold, make it more windy.
Handy. Right, if I don't have anything to write a letter with, I'll try to socialize with maybe some other people in the garden if there's any type of social gathering going on.
Well, social gathering, maybe not, but you are aware of the huge inn, which is 3-story high and pretty large, which is the main place where everyone gathers if they don't want to be alone.
All right, well, that sounds about right. I'll head there and try to socialize with people for once.
Come, join the party with me. It's a good time. It's always a good time at the inn with audience.
Yeah, like the first time I stepped into an inn, like to actually do stuff in it.
And who do you find inside that inn? Audience. He is on the first floor. He has a mug in front of him, and he has another mug in front of him, and he is apparently waiting for someone. And there is a turtle at the back of the first floor, who is enjoying a glass, or rather a pint of slimy green stuff.
Guess I should try to have a more positive relationship with the tank of my party, and I'll walk out to audience.
All right. Audience, as you are waiting for your companion to arrive, you know that he's probably going to be along any minute. You see Anvara entering the inn and walking toward you.
I'll give her a nod. Not a greeting.
I'll give audience a nod back. Is anyone sitting with you?
No, I'm waiting for the gunman we ran into earlier. But at the moment I am alone. You're welcome to join us, of course.
All right. I'll grab a chair and is there a I was about to say a wench. Is there a barmaid?
Everyone tending.
Jesus.
You really have to revise your vocabulary. It's for an elf, you have a very human way of talking.
I might be
You
more
like
half-elf.
grandfather?
So
But
most of the people actually right now tending to this large inns are wardens. So the wardens are the tall humanoid looking creature always wearing a hood that you most likely, like everyone else, believe are all sentient construct. Or at
Alright.
least so well made that you can't make the difference between a sentient one and those one.
so none of them are serving drinks. I have to get back up and go to the bar.
Well, you could try and raise your hand, try to get the attention of someone, but right now, no, there's no one walking. Well, you see the barkeeper, tender of the inn, giving you a nod of acknowledgement. And he turns around, and you see another warden come out of the kitchen behind him and slowly make its way toward you.
Evening. So,
Good evening.
is this the alcohols people have been talking about?
We have a lot of different type of alcohol.
Oh, I'll have one alcohol, please.
And
Audience will lean over and clap her on the back. She wants something strong. Give her something strong.
all right.
Yes, as one would in this establishment, right?
Well, we actually have quite a large variety of visitors. Some consider strong for what would be considered mild for someone else. So you would need to be a little bit more precise.
I'll look around nervously around the room, trying to see something like that
I'll
looks okay.
I'll speak
like,
up for her. She'll be like,
thank
she wants what Ami Ali would consider strong. She can handle it. I've seen her.
I was going to point at the turtle's slime.
Interesting. So, would you like to try both?
Sure. That it is customary to have more than one drink when drinking, right?
It depends on each customer. For a dwarf, it is.
Like,
For a gnome,
she has
not
never
always.
drank anything. She needs a con save for every sip.
Well, it depends on which mug you're gonna choose from when you both get there.
I am not being necessarily the nicest person right now. That's all I'm gonna say.
Definitely not. All right. Well, so like I said, it really depends. I will admit that many elves usually only take one. And it's not because they can't handle it. It is usually because they just don't feel like it. But when you look at, and he points toward the audience, dragonborns and dwarves, definitely you will most likely take more than one. They will.
All right, well, I'm trying to get on the same page as audience, so I'm gonna try to be as relatable as possible. So I'm just gonna be like, yeah, I'll have one of each drink. Bring him. Yep, I'll have 2 drinks.
All right. Give me a moment. It will take a moment to have.
I'm gonna get pissed so fast.
You're making me feel guilty here. You're trying to be like, and I'm like out here saying like, I'm about to give you an alcohol that basically made me poison myself when I drank it.
Audience literally used his lay on hand ability to remove poison.
Lay on hand removes poison.
Yes! If you use 5 hit points of lay on hand, it removes a poison.
Oh shit. Just
I
me
may
on the
need to
floor,
use that on
wheezing
you in a
half-
second.
Just me half dead, having to use preserve life on myself.
So he says it's going to take a little moment to prepare the Western algae drink.
Yuck. Vegetables, lovely.
Yes, well, apparently it is better than the Eastern one. I myself have never tasted it. I'll be back in a minute or two. And he leaves and goes at the back of the. at the counter.
All right. So I didn't come here to just to drink, audience. I felt we should have a talk regarding our current synergy or lack thereof.
Audience is doing this purposefully. It's not Sam being a dick to Anvara. It's audience being a dick to Anvara, right?
Yes.
All right. Could you make a deception roll, please?
Yes, I can.
You make it or not, I'm still gonna drink it out of spite.
Well, I'm not deceiving anyone with a 3 off the nat 1 roll.
All right.
Roll
Well-
insight with my +6.
Oh, your passive insight is more than enough to notice that audience is
Grinning, probably like I am right now.
yeah, he's grinning and trying very hard to hide great anticipation. You notice that
Aiden
right
is
away.
thinking flat. All right. So yeah, I feel like I may have gotten off on the wrong foot with you, and it's important to make reparations, I find, before we end up in a situation where things become dire and we really have to rely on one another. And it's hard when you think someone has ill intentions towards you. Winks.
I would say I have no ill intentions towards you. I trust you in a fight. I've seen your capabilities. You provide good support and healing for the party. I just don't believe we have the same beliefs, and I think that's okay.
Okay. So
I mean, I think you're wrong, but I think that's okay.
that is why I'm here. Slowly clenches and releases fist. Maybe we could stop with this talk of heresy. Maybe it doesn't mean a whole lot to you, but I spent probably more than your lifetime in a cloister with, like, studying and worshiping my god, and being called a heretic is mildly irritating, shall we say. In return, I'll
You see the
acknowledge
warden
your goddess.
arrive and puts the 2 pints on the table in front of you, Anvara. Here you go. I'd suggest that you do not try to drink them all in a single gulp.
Thank you. How much will this be?
It's 4 copper for the alcohol and 5 for the algae.
All right, so that'll be
9 copper.
copper. Great. I have to break a gold to make copper. So now I'll be.
Your total is $5. Here's a $100 bill. Oh,
So
Oh my god.
9 copper, that would be, if you give a gold for 9 copper, you would get 9 silver and
And one,
One
copper
copper.
back.
Yeah.
Yay. Now I got more shit jingling.
that's alright. You already make noise when you do, so.
I mean, not as much as Scrooge McDuck over here, but you know. Thank you. And I'll grab one of the cups, not really looking what's in it, and just like lean it in.
Alright.
Here.
I'll roll.
Did he take?
very
We
well.
roll even or odds for which cup I grab.
That's what I was gonna say. So this one is. All right. So odd is this one, and even is this one. All right. So even or odds.
Oh, hang on. I'll roll, and that is a even.
Even. You you take this one and not really looking at it. You're still looking at audience. You try and take a sip of it, and it is a bit thick. You have just taken a good gulp of the algae drink. It's a bit thick, slightly gelatinous.
Oh, fuck.
So gross.
Definitely slimy. And
Oh.
you know those drinks where now they put bubbles in it? Well, it's a bit the same thing, but mix in with that. So there's sometimes a chewy element to it.
I'm actually like having like it's lifting a little right here. Every time you add a description.
Oh.
I'll roll a con save just for fun, see how I react to it.
Oh, that's all right.
All right, a 7. I guess my eyes are welling up a bit.
You rolled a 7. So most likely what happened is that you drank it and okay, it's not the Ugh. Not bad.
I'll switch cups and grab the other one to try to wash down the taste.
Make a constitution saving throw for
Audience
that.
eyes will just kind of widen. It'll
Oh boy, con.
Please roll in 1. Please roll in 1.
passes out as she makes this agree.
I was like happy for a second. It's I was like, oh, it's a 3. My con is +2.
Okay.
Wait, you actually rolled a 1? Oh no.
I'm about to throw back up into my mug. Great.
Oh, I just feel no. It's
Um,
so strong.
So,
bad.
have you seen the third Back to the Future?
Is it
I-
like the reaction? No, wait.
Yeah,
It's only-
it's most like Dr. Emmett Brown when he gets given the wake up juice.
Oh, God.
That's most likely your reaction right now. You take a sip of this and it is burning. You even haven't swallowed it yet. It is already burning in your mouth. You feel the nose hair slowly dissolve just with the vapor of this.
Can I
coming up.
to try to power through it? What
Oh, definitely. Go ahead.
do you want me to roll for that? Another con?
Oh no, you already fell. That's all right. You are on fire. Audience, you can see Anvara, and this is a bit rare for an elf, but with a 1, you actually see beads of sweat forming on her brow, and her eyes are starting to cry a little.
Or I'll just like completely deadpan. I'll look at her and I'll be like, I don't think you quite finished your sentence. What will you do in return? Do you mind telling me? Can you speak?
Anvara, I would say on that level, make a wisdom roll to see if you have the willpower to swallow and
actually-
then open your mouth and say a word.
22.
22? Alright, so because of everything that you have ever gone through as a priest, the hardship, the pain, you are able to yeah.
I put the mug down, just wipe the sweat off my hands a bit.
It almost feels as slimy as the other cup when you just rub your hand together and you realize that your system is struggling to keep functioning. Officially, you are right now poisoned and slightly tipsy. What did you
Oh,
expect
yeah,
with a natural one?
poisoned. Am I aware that I'm poisoned?
Well, the symptoms are pretty close. You're having trouble concentrating. Your stomach doesn't like you right now. You're sweating and you're short of breath. So either you are thinking to yourself, so this is drunk, or was there actually poison in there?
All right. So the odds for which one I believe. Okay. I'll just put the cup down and look at audience. I was just saying.
And you see this bead of
That-
sweat rolling down the side of her face. Bit of snot starting to drop from her nose.
She blinks one eye at a time. I just think that if we could mutually acknowledge each other's religion as being a legitimate one, we could more rapidly and efficiently build a type of mutual respect towards one another rather than see each other as gross, hut-dwelling, disgusting backcountry heretics.
Audience has a small smile on his face, but he goes, "Very well. I could accept those terms."
All right,
He holds out his hand,
and then Bar will shake it.
or she shakes it. I will use 5 points of lay on hands on her.
You shake his hand and you suddenly feel this warmth coming from his hand, spreading through your body, and you've seen Paladin before, so unless audience you want to make a deception to really make this look
I don't
like...
make a
All right, so
deception.
you are aware that he was aware of how struggling you were to keep your composure on this, and he just removed the poisoning effect of the alcohol.
Okay. I'll let go of his hand. Thank you. Take the mug of ale and just like lift it as a cheers.
No, don't drink more. Audience will be like, are you sure? I don't think you want to drink more.
My hand is already up. Knock it or don't. It's up to you.
Audience looks at you and you're like, all right, but I'm not responsible for what happens if you do this. And then clinks your cup. And we'll
Fate.
take...
Let fate be, and I'll take another drink.
Oh no.
Big old
Stop.
gulp.
Are you trying to just take a normal gulp, or are you trying to do the dwarven thing and try to down it as much as you can in a single swipe?
I'll try to take like a good like 3 like of this stuff just to like.
All
You're
right.
actually just gonna pass out. You're just gonna black out.
Audience, please make sure Anvara gets in her room.
I will... Yeah, no. She's...
All
I need to
right.
make sure she doesn't die right here.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
I did. Hang on. Look at Skype.
Oh. Hold on. Here it is. It's very small. Oh, okay. You
You see
rolled
the
another.
three
You rolled
red?
another one.
No, she's...
I.
I'm gonna have to perform like CPR.
Christ.
I think you should go back to normal because you've just obscured 2 players from the stream.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Fisher and Premiere.
Shit, my bad.
That's all right. All right. Well,
Rude.
As long as the essentials are on it, that's all that matters.
yeah. Well.
Oh, essentials, I see.
I already did my thing. I don't even.
All right. So hold on. There's a table here that I need to look at.
We rolled death saves.
All right. So you already had that. All right. You take 2 good swipe, 3 at least, good gulp of this alcohol, and you thought you were pretty smart doing this, showing off to audience that you can actually handle this. And after the first gulp, and while the second one is filling your mouth, you start regretting this so much. You swallow the second one, and your vision suddenly starts to narrow a bit. And you feel this burning sensation not only in your mouth, but also in your guts. And audience, you really see... No, actually, you can't see it because the mug is in front of her face. But on Vara, there is a slight taste of snot mixing with what you're trying to gulp. Because it is so bad that your nose is running. But right now, for some reason, that you really don't care that you're partially drinking your snot because you're wondering how you're going to survive the third gulp. And as you take it, all of your system just freezes. And you have the mug in front, you're shaking. Audience, you see literally the sweat coming off of her chin and falling on the table. You recognize that her muscles are completely seized up, and she's probably not seeing anything. Anvara, you have the 1,000-yard stare right into your mug.
All right.
Jesus Christ.
And all you hear from her is...
Carry me, you're fine.
Avara is now suffering from the paralyzed condition.
So, Anvara, yes, for probably the equivalent of 5 rounds, you are paralyzed. And your memory sort of goes for the rest of the evening after that moment.
I want to try to do one thing before I pacify, like before I brown out and just forget everything.
All right, so just to let you know, the first nat 1 gave you the equivalent of a second level exhaustion. Your second nat 1 took you to the equivalent of level 4 exhaustion. So right now, you have disadvantage on ability check. You are halved in your movement, disadvantage on attack and saving throw, and your hit point value is halved, while you're drunk. This is how bad it is. If you take one more sip, your speed is reduced to 0. So right now, if you try and get up, you are going to go in a zigzag and have a lot of trouble staying up.
All right. Anvara will clasp the mug in her left hand, her holy symbol in her right hand. Stand the fuck up. Raise her holy symbol, just barely standing up, to the glory of anal nostril, and just fucking slams the rest and leans back into oblivion.
Slams the rest! You're just gonna die!
No! Audience, you see Anvara finish the glass and just drops on the floor.
I can't heal level 6 exhaustion. My plant hands doesn't do that.
No, to be fair, reaching level 6 exhaustion through drinking simply means she is pass out drunk. Basically, when she finished her mug like this, you just saw her gulp, 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 and you saw her body tilt rigidly and just fall on the ground. She's probably still holding her mug like this.
Well,
And
she
the
doesn't
rest
know
is
this,
just streaming.
but there is actually some respect for once in audience eyes. He will also go over to her as she collapses and check her pulse.
It is a bit erratic, but you do not feel she is going to die. But
If you
her
can wake
heart
me up, I
is
can preserve life
definitely
on
not.
myself.
Her heart is definitely not liking this.
I go, oh god. Now
I
Terry
have
is
lesser
gonna kill.
restoration.
Now
I
Terry
can
is gonna
fix
kill
something
me.
if you get me up. If you get me up, I can lesser restoration myself.
Actually, less restoration can't even do stuff with
I'm gonna
exhaustion.
pick you up. I'm gonna pick you up
Well,
and kind of
oh fuck, I can't.
I'm gonna pick you up and I'm gonna because I still want to wait for the dwarven gunner, and I'm gonna set you down next to me and then kind of lay your head down on the table next to me and then just keep my hand on your wrist to make sure your pulse doesn't stop at any time.
Face down on the table, just see like a pool of vomit just spreading.
No, I'll turn your head sideways. I've dealt with drunk people before. I'm a dragonborn. I know how to deal with it.
So you sit her back up on the chair, and you do notice that she's accumulating quite a pool of sweat. Her clothes are completely wet. Her back is completely wet. Her clothes are starting to change slightly color from the sweat that's just pouring out of her body. But she's currently like this on the table, and
do I have anything that can help her? Let me look at my equipment.
well, you can remove the poison effect, meaning that her body
Yeah.
will stabilize, but it still needs to recover from the raw shock of this. So she's still going to have one heck of a hangover, probably the first one of her life.
Yeah,
She's not going to her room
That's what I
tonight.
You literally
Excuse-
just did the equivalent of taking like 20 shots of vodka having never drunk before. Like you literally almost just killed yourself.
And Vara is a prideful woman. Not a smart one, she is prideful.
Oh my god.
On the bright side, she won't remember this for the rest of her life.
Well, audience won't let her forget, but yes.
Just a massive gash in the back of her head, like, where'd that come from?
The floor.
I will use another 5 lay on hands on her just to make sure she doesn't actually die.
Alright, so you use your lay on hand, and slowly you feel her pulse stabilizing and going back to normal, and she stops sweating. She's still completely passed out. You'd say for a few hours.
Alright, I will. Now that I felt her pulse regulate, I'll be like, well, she can nap here. I'll make sure she gets back to her room.
Alright, and with this very interesting turn of event, we're going to go to our break. Alright. Well, that was different.
I really hope Valtteri doesn't come to the end. She will actually kill me.
Well, she is the next one on the list, so when you come back, Valtteri and Remy, you are going to be the one that I will ask what you want to do. So,
Just taking a holy nap.
yeah. See you all in 10 minutes. Bye. Aha, welcome back everyone. Hey, during the break I learned that we've been raided. Hello to anyone still raiding us. So, as you can see, all players are still alive. Though for one character, it's not obvious. So, Valtteri and Remy, as you both left this inn just a few moments before everything happened, I would like to know what you decided to do. Go back directly to your room? It's getting late. There's not a lot to do outside. So you could possibly just come back in a few hours, or see if there's more people, just go back in. Or you could take a long walk inside the arboretum. Or just go to bed.
Do you want to go first, or?
I can go ahead because I already know what I want to do.
All right.
I also already know, but sure.
I mean, like, Raby definitely would have still taken his time, but he has basically tasked himself with giving audience his fair share of the loot, as is custom for his people. And but he would have taken like a leisurely stroll on the way back because he's not in too much of a hurry, because he thinks audience is going to be there for a bit. So he's taking in the sights, looking up at the moon/stars, depending on what's on view today.
The night sky inside the arboretum is made to resemble a night sky that you don't know. You don't see any moons, but there are definitely stars. No constellation that you know, though.
Just looks up at the sky. Huh, that's weird.
It is literally an alien sky. From what you know of the garden, you don't know if it is one that's been created just for this, or if it's actually the sky of where the garden comes from.
And he definitely takes his time on his stroll, just like looking up toward the stars, seeing them presumably twinkle.
Yes. You even see something that looks like a shooting star. Huh.
She's just like, it's like, oh, close his eyes, makes a wish.
And then you start wondering, is that even a real shooting star? All right.
Too many complex questions for right now.
All right. So you take a
That's it over his head.
You take a stroll inside the arboretum, most likely one of the garden. One of the small garden inside the arboretum. I'm pretty sure Remy doesn't want to go into the thick of the woods. Or would you?
Well, no, that would block out the sky.
Yeah.
That would be terrible.
All right. So take a bit of a stroll inside the gardens, and you do see a few people. You see a human over there, and he's just slowly watching the skies and looking at the flowers, night flowers blooming in one of the ponds. You see two gnomes slowly walking toward one of the exits, toward the residential quarters. You see one warden staring at the stars, which is a bit strange. You didn't know that construct could appreciate the stars, sentient or not.
Maybe definitely thinks to himself and wonders if maybe he should ask Fisher at some point. If he likes looking at the stars.
Well, no one's coming at you, but there are a few people. But it's getting late, so it's most likely people who either enjoy nightlife or who are working very late and are slowly making their way back. You see a few people going towards the exit that leads to the inn, but it's very quiet. It's comfortable. There's a really, really gentle breeze, which again is a bit odd because you know you're inside a structure. And the weather is quite comfortable.
definitely more pleasant than the experience they had coming in that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and in fact, enjoying this weather so much, he kind of even does a skip, which is probably a little awkward because he's right now carrying a little more gold than he's used to.
So you hear cling.
It's like cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. It's like, oh, no, no, off balance.
In the middle of the night, you hear cling, 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 shling, 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 shling.
Everyone he passes by giving a weird look, but not curious enough to question it.
No, actually, they would probably take. They're explorers, so you'd probably get a few strange look at people. What's that noise? Oh, okay. When you think about it, as Remy, you see people look at you as you do this, and they just go back to their own stuff. You can't help but to feel that, wow, they really see a lot of things when you live inside a garden. It's that wasn't even odd for them.
It's like, this is just Tuesday.
Not even, it's Monday. So anything else?
Well, as I said, like he was basically taking this,
Alright.
this like more leisurely detour, but he was making his way to the inn because he wanted to make sure that he handed audience his hoard personally.
All right. Valtteri,
Yes.
what do you want to do?
First, I wanted to check on Arena.
Okay.
Do I feel her presence nearby or not?
Barely, as in feels like she is unconscious, not by having been
Sleep.
hit too hard.
So sleeping, probably.
As close to it as a pseudo dragon can be.
Okay, if she sleeps, then I'll go look for the others because I still had the plan to get everyone to get our group official in the garden, so
Okay.
thinking first finding audience would be the best option.
All right. Well, in that case, you just leave the garden. You meet up with. Well, actually.
So I would go to the inn as
Well,
I
actually,
already know that-
I'm just wondering if you would have actually left the inn in that case.
but when did we went to the inn? That is what confuses me because we stopped when we left the board last time.
Sorry.
Well, the last thing we did before the session ended was like all of us except for audience
Yeah.
went to go turn in the quest, so we weren't even at the inn at the end
Yeah.
of the session.
Well,
That's why it confuses me
Anvara-
that we are now. at the
Anvara
inn.
and Fisher went to get to hand in
Yeah, but
the mineral, but I don't remember Valtteri and Remy saying that they followed. But if you want
No,
to
I-
have
I did.
followed them,
No,
I got a
right.
gem from it.
I
Right.
went with audience, and then we all grouped back up, kinda at the board after.
I know, but
And then
Dude.
after that,
after
we met at the board, and then we went back to drop off.
because audience stayed alone, everyone went away, but I don't remember you saying where you went after.
Yeah, because
So
we
are you
didn't
just-
have
Did
the
you
opportunity.
go with Anvara, Fisher, and Remy, or did you just go at the bottom level and stayed there while Anvara, Fisher, and Remy went to get their rewards?
I would have gone to my room probably.
So you're in your room.
Eh.
Are you going to go back out of your room to see
Yes.
if everyone? All right. So you went back into your room. Probably just put all of your stuff on the floor, bed. I don't know which one, what type of tiefling you are. Are you a type of tiefling that throws everything on the floor, on the bed? Neatly store everything and...
Yeah.
Alright, so you take the time to neatly store everything. Make a good inventory of your backpack and place everything where it's supposed to be. Then you slowly start to make your way back to the inn where audience is. All right, so Fisher went back to his room. Anvara is passed out in the inn. Remy is slowly making its way back to there. So there, 1 hour. This means Valtteri, you'd probably the first one to arrive at the inn. Yeah, you'd be the first one to arrive at the inn from everyone other than audience. But the time it takes for you to leave and then come back, I'd say you're arriving inside the inn. Just as audience, you notice your construct friend just entering the inn and slowly making its way toward you as soon as he sees you are there. And again, I closed my window with the names of everyone on it. So Garthing just sees you and alright. And
Way back.
he comes toward you and I see we have company. Or do we? She seems a little bit out of it.
I believe we do not. She drank some, I'll point to the cup, quite strong alcohol, and I believe has passed out for the evening.
Bold. All right. So, is there anything left in her drink? I'm curious about what she took.
I don't think so, but she
All right.
she drank what Ami Ali considers strong, if you know what that means, since I know you know Ami Ali.
Yeah, she's quite interesting. And all right, well, that explains a lot. He goes around the table, and you arrive, Valtteri, you arrive just at that moment where you see this strange armored fellow that you saw maybe once, other than the old explanation on the board. Just arrive and look at the table. You see him interact a bit with audience, and then you see Anvara, who has her eyes closed down. Her clothes are drenched. You don't know in what. There is a mug on the table, which looks filled with a slimy green liquid, and you see this small knight like humanoid go to Anvara and says, well, you are... no, that's right, you're sitting, so you're probably almost at the same height. Well, you're bold. I'm not sure you're smart, but then again, you won't hear me saying this, so that's nice. And I don't know if he's the one that proposed that drink, or if you actually really wanted to impress Amy, but you'll never succeed if you try. Not unless you use magic. And he just gives a small tap on your forehead, on Vara. Not enough to damage it, just sort of to tap to see if you're gonna wake up. Yep, that sounds about right.
Chewy drink bad. Then just falls back asleep.
So Valtteri, you arrived just in time for that scene.
Audience can feel the anger presence of Valtteri slowly creeping in as she lightly faster walks to them.
Oh, hello. It's you again.
Audience,
Yes.
explain.
We were having a drink. She wanted to drink something strong. She's an elf. I don't know what she can handle.
Apparently, she can't handle a lot.
And
Because there's a lot of it
instead
on the floor. So I'm guessing she didn't finish it.
I thought I slammed back all of it.
You
before
tried.
passing out.
You fell unconscious. So
There might have been a little dribble that came out of your mouth. We don't know.
I like spelled out off your cheeks and then onto the floor.
Just
We don't
gargled a bit
question.
before passing out. Just,
Then tell me, audience, why did you kept her here like that?
I was meeting. I was meeting my friend. She's fine. I laid on hands her. She'll wake up with the hangover. She's perfectly fine though.
And not even interested in bringing her at least to her room?
She's sleeping.
Not now, Father. 5 more minutes.
see, she's even having nice dreams. Unless she didn't like her father, then it's not a good dream.
I'll shrug. I don't know her relationship with her parentage.
No, you smell like grass and horsehair.
See, they probably
Don't-
domesticated horse. It's a noble profession. You know, everyone needs horse.
You can see how Valtteri tries her best not to outrage.
Audience, you
Audience.
hear Kaharthane looks. You see Kaharthane look at you, and he says, "You know, a gnome once told me that you don't actually have to answer to questions that displeases you. It's legal. Apparently, it's a right."
I plead the fifth.
Just ask any gnome; they can actually give you a very thick manual on things that you can.
I will turn back to
can't do.
Valtteri. I'll be like, I'm sure she'd be happy though if you want to bring her to her room. I won't stop you.
Can Valtteri drag and well?
I don't know.
That is
Completely armored, still with your equipment on you. It's gonna take some time, but she can manage it.
yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
I can't remember how much I can carry in my wolf form.
I think
Oh.
it's 30. It's 30. Is it 30 or 15 times your strength? I think it's 15
I believe it's
times.
15.
15 times
It's
your
15.
strength.
30 seems a lot.
It's 15 times your strength.
Yeah,
and then
it's 5 increments. So it's you can
doubled for being large.
yeah. So you can carry, drag, pull, push, 15 times your strength.
Laura, how much do you?
Well, just my equipment is 150 pounds,
Mm.
and I am how much? 130. So you're lugging 280 pounds.
Oh, this is gonna be interesting. So basically, if you want to drag her to her
Fucking
room,
hell.
you're gonna have to take her by either a hand or a foot and try to drag her. And all the way that you get there, her armor is gonna rub on the floor. So you're gonna hear.
When I'm in my tiefling form or in my wolf form?
You can see your carrying capacity on on D&D Beyond. If you go to equipment,
Oh yeah.
click on carrying capacity, And it will also show your push, drag, or lift weight, which is 360 pounds for you.
Problem is it doesn't show me for wolf, but okay, so
It should be more for wolf. But...
yeah.
Well, it's the strength of your wolf form. So
Yeah, it's 16.
So that times 15 times 2 for being large times another 2 because it's your drag weight, not your carrying capacity.
So you can, but it's gonna look like a wolf carrying a prey back to his den to eat it.
Or can I carry her without dragging her as a wolf?
You'd have to ask someone to place her on your
I know,
back.
that was already my plan before I even started.
Can you walk out of the inn in your wolf form?
I should.
It's spacious enough.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's probably going to be a bit tight for her to move about, but
Audience,
Yes.
can you do me a favor?
Yes.
I would have said no.
Can
It's Kaharte who said that. I would have said no.
Can you put her on my back after I transform?
Yes. I don't know, but if she slides off, I think just leave her here. I can carry her back once we're done.
No.
Haven't you heard you're not supposed to carry people that have been injured?
Am I injured from my fall?
You
You're not
probably
shit.
have a bruise on the back of your head.
Yeah, you're okay.
That's like the worst place to get a bruise. That's how you get blinded.
I mean, you were paralyzed. I don't know what's going on.
Whatever. Combat wheelchair is always a thing.
I hand audience my rope, transform into a wolf, and look at him to put her on me.
You mean in the middle of the end, you just hand me your robe? What do you mean? Like... Okay. I guess I'll put her on your back.
You hear Kaharte just look at both of you and say, "That's a strange proposition, you know. I think she has to say yes before you can tie her."
I'll say I don't know. I don't think this is a good idea. But if Valtteri wants to bring her back,
Well, it's
I'm
your
not gonna
world. Huh?
stop it.
I don't know any of your customs, so go ahead.
I was just planning to carry her back when I was done here. She was fine, but
I mean, audience also laid his hands on her without her consent, so...
Fucking
Audience is getting Me Too'd. Yeah, get ready for it.
Yeah, but I think that what Valtteri is proposing is a bit worse.
I don't think it's a great idea. But
It was
Conscious
more meant
garbage.
to tie her on my body so she doesn't fall off, but sure.
you didn't tell me that, so we're gonna have to
Yeah,
transfer
I
it back.
was hoping that you would get that.
You're proposing bondage.
I
fucking
literally
wow,
just-
that's a leap.
Just cut the audience just like hog tying me. It's like, what?
Yeah,
I'm
Well, what
not-
else? What else do you call it if you need to tie someone up so that
I
they
don't
can't
do
stay?
anything.
They're fucking horrible.
I just drape you across. I just drape you across her back, and I'm like, well,
She-
that's what was asked of me.
They're the worst.
she asked you. She asked you to tie her up, and then
Did she?
put
I
her
thought you
on
asked
her
me to
back.
Place her on her back. Oh, I don't do that. I just place her on her back.
If I fall, I can't catch myself. I'm tied up.
I'll look again at the wall and
Just
be
gonna-
like, is it a good idea? She's gonna fall off.
I look at the rope and then back at you.
I think she wants you to eat the rope, or maybe she
I'll-
wants to eat it.
Let's see if I get enough intelligence on that.
Try to
Incidentally,
feed that
this
cat
rope
the
is made of hemp.
10. I rolled a 10. Do I understand that she wants me to tie her down?
Excuse me.
Well, with a 10, I'd
Jesus, you guys are the worst.
with a
Get your
10
mind out of the gutter.
Calm
with a
your
10,
fucking
I'd say
self,
you're
Brock Turner.
I'd say you have a good enough roll to figure out that she wants you to use the rope.
Okay. How are you gonna untie it? Or are you just gonna transform back? Or are you gonna just transform back and then collapse under her weight?
She's
I will
nodding,
figure
so
a way.
yeah, go ahead. All right, so tie her up. I personally, there's something that I really want to do if you do that, so let me know.
Okay.
Excuse me?
Audience is just looking very like this is not a good idea the entire time. It starts tying Valtteri to hopefully using the knot skills he's now learned from Raimi to
Oh,
do a good job
Christ.
for.
Do an intelligence roll. Let's go.
I rolled a 1.
That is pants on head retarded. I'm going to die.
So you're pretty confident. You're doing exactly as Remy said, and Valtteri, because you can't see it, you're not sure. But you do hear Kahartang look at this. I'm not sure, but I think one of them is gonna be strangled if they start moving. It looks like a sliding knot.
Oh no, you learned the murder knot. You remember the murder knot.
I remember the murder knot and only the murder knot.
It sounded cool. This is the only reason why you remembered it.
I guess I'll look at the
Gosh.
ropes. I'll untie it. I'll try again.
Go ahead, make
I
it.
could just sit on the. I should just sit at the table with everyone. You know, I'm not getting hurt here. I'm fine.
That's what I was gonna do. Blame Valtteri for this. I'll roll.
She wants me to sleep in my
It's
bed.
a dex
which I
now?
appreciate.
Is it Dex?
No,
now?
it's
Or is-
intelligence. It's really
Okay.
raw intelligence. It's your
Okay, that was an 18.
18. All right.
Thanks.
So you tie her up, you feel that it's very secured, and try to jostle her a bit, and alright, it doesn't move. Alright. You're good.
All right, I'll say good luck. You can figure it out from here.
I nod and leave.
As soon as she leaves, you see Kaharthang give one tap on the side of his helm, and you hear something in a language that you've never heard before. It sounds a bit like two metal doors sliding and grinding as they try and pull apart. And he waits for a moment. Close it. All right. So, what do you want to talk about?
I'll give him a look of slight suspicion. What did you just do? Should I be worried?
Nah, don't worry about it. I just asked for surveillance on the corridor in front of it. I want to have picture of when she transforms back and gets crushed by her.
Oh, be sure to send me the footage.
Yeah.
I like this man. This man gets it.
Like, what's your sphere number?
3.
So just as Anvara leaves in her wolf form, Remy, you enter the inn. You see her leave. You see Valtteri leave with Anvara on her back, tied down. Impressively tied down. You sort of feel like, oh, well, if it's audience, I'm proud of him.
Yeah, kind of cocks his head at the situation, appreciating the knot work.
I nod to Remy as I see him. Like, greetings.
So he does initially back up because he's still kind of scared of you in your wolf form, but he remembers that it's you, and she's like, okay, it's okay. There's a
Anvara's
friendly
just-
face underneath it somewhere.
I was just on this, like, just grasping at the scruff. Just like, puppy. Just fucking dozing.
Yeah, but, you know, a wolf's walking, it sways a little bit. So could you make a Constitution saving throw for me?
Oh fuck again.
Yeah.
Throw up on the back of that.
Well, you still have your. You still have.
What is happening?
Saving all the good con saves for concentration checks.
Yeah, I mean, fucking, what does a 4 get me right now?
A 4? Well, Valtteri, a 4 gets you that you don't suddenly feel chunky stuff rolling down your shoulder blades. But at one point, halfway there, you do start feeling something slimy slowly trickling down your neck.
Yeah, I'll take a shower after that.
You think that her mouth is open.
If you can get me off your back.
I have an idea, don't worry.
Heat metal till I wake up.
Alright, so just to finish what you're going to do, Valtteri, what do you do once you get there?
Do I even find her room? Have I ever been to her?
Nope.
Nope.
So basically, you know where your room is, but you don't know where hers is. And she's not in a state that she can tell you. So you take her back to your room, all tied up?
Yes, it's the best option.
Alright, you get to your room, you open the door, you go inside. How do you do this?
I go to the bed,
Alright.
carefully lay down on the side so she's also on the side.
Make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Yeah. Okay.
And still as the wolf.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
How
this
big
is
is
why I
this
want a
bed?
dexterity save.
Fucking bed. Unless I'm just like mashed against a wall or some shit.
16.
16. Alright, well, it's not super elegant, but you do manage to climb on the bed, try and put yourself in this awkward position, and roll, and you do feel something that sticks a little bit, but alright, well, it's probably alright. You can't look back, so you think she's placed properly.
Then I transform myself back so that she doesn't lay on top of me. And because I'm bigger as a wolf, I can easily probably slide out of the ropes and get the ropes off of her.
Alright, so one question that I need to ask to audience. When you tied her to Valtteri, did you
Yeah.
tie Anvara separately so she couldn't move and then tie her to Valtteri? Or did you just tie them both together?
No,
As
I
best you
literally
could.
just wrapped a rope around the wolf's stomach and like strapped her in.
Alright, so there was a bit of a knot involved. So make sure that she doesn't move. You probably, made a few turns around the stomach. And then
Yeah.
you would have had to stabilize her also that she wouldn't slide like this. So most likely there's also a rope going over her shoulder and tied to the waist.
Sure.
Because otherwise there is a chance that she could just slowly start sliding on
I
the
would have
side.
done it where I don't think she would have slid.
All right.
I would have tried to set it up. But I did not like tie her.
Alright. Valtteri,
Mhm.
you can either make an intelligence roll or a sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand it is.
Alright.
Boy. 15?
So, audience rolled an 18.
Oh boy.
Meaning
Oh, fuck me.
you find yourself stuck in a spooning position with Anvara strapped to your back. And unable to fully get yourself out of the rope work that audience made. You are forced to admit he did a really good job.
Raimi's seal of
Can I-
approval.
Am I able to reach my dagger?
Well, you said you left everything inside, so you'd have to drag yourself out of bed, drag Anvara through the room on your back all the way to your equipment, and then try to cut the ropes. That's a lot of weight. How much can you
Yeah.
take, actually?
And aren't you prone since you're
Yeah.
knotted up?
I'm thinking of something because flame blade, I don't actually need a blade. It just creates in my
Oh, goodness.
Excuse me.
Yeah, burn the rope away.
I'm not cutting towards you.
You're gonna set the fucking bed on fire.
Please tell me this is all on film and I will get this later.
Oh, don't worry. There is something in there. Don't worry.
Wait, there's cameras in the rooms?
Yeah, what?
Oh, you don't know. You don't know.
What kind of shit? Okay.
The audience just became part of the spy network of this unknowingly for the a camera in every room.
There's one thing that everyone needs to understand. Construct don't have hormones. So they're not actually trying to see something they shouldn't. There's no hormonal drive behind anything they do. Contrary to us, who are trying to get excited when we're actually doing this, to feel a thrill. They don't. For them, it's just watching pictures of two
It's
people
even worse.
struggling.
That makes it so much worse, though. Like, there's no drive. It's just because they can.
Wait, should we be concerned that this person's being double teamed?
Excuse
They
me.
watch
Okay.
them because
So Valtteri,
I mean,
how do you
Constructs
want?
enter your room.
How do you want to get out of this?
But I was thinking of flame blade and with that cutting the ropes.
Do you actually have Flame Blade currently?
Yes, I do.
All right. Yeah, and in your free hand, the light is center inside the shade of
I've-
centaur. So if you got it disappear, but you can use an action to make a melee spell attack with the fire blade on a head. The target takes. All right. Well, it's possible.
I have it in there now for a long time and I can finally use it again.
Yep. Did
Cut
you
some
at least keep your druidic focus on you?
Yes, I always have that with me.
All right. Then, tied in your bed, with Anvara in an awkward position behind you, you cast the spell of Flaming Blade. You have a huge sword of flame that appears in your hand, the size of a centaur, and you try to cut the rope without injuring yourself or Anvara.
Well, because I'm cutting in front of me and she's behind me, I wouldn't be able to hurt her. Alright?
All right.
Well,
Well,
set the bed on fire.
in that case, I'd say
It's a waterbed.
make an attack roll. I'm gonna go with advantage, and stuff can happen depending on what you roll.
don't roll in that one. Don't roll
Roll
two
that
nat
one
ones, I
with
guess.
getting
Yeah.
fucking cremated.
So, it's 3d6?
No, an attack roll.
Attack
Oh.
roll.
So it's a spell attack roll. So
Yeah.
use your wisdom and your proficiency.
Okay.
And I'm giving you advantage because you're attacking yourself. Carefully.
It'd be really weird if you missed yourself so horribly.
You hear blood gurgling from behind you.
20?
It's a d20 plus your spell attack.
My +6 and plus my wisdom.
Yes, and proficiency.
Well, your spell attack is written with that taken into consideration in D&D Beyond. So it's here. It's plus 6. So it's 20. Your d20 plus 6.
Then it's a 16.
16. All right. It's good enough. You manage to slowly slide this huge scimitar on your belly without injuring yourself, and the rope slowly cuts off, and you do see a little bit of burn mark on your clothes, but that's it.
Okay. The flame blade disappears, and I get up and remove the ropes from Anvara and make sure that the ropes aren't burning or anything.
Okay.
Well, there goes my rope.
Yeah.
How many rope pieces do I have now?
How many times did you roll it around her belly?
I mean, I'd probably like 3.
So you have... Your rope has been divided in 3.
So 50 feet of rope.
50 divided by 3 is...
A bit over 15 feet. 3 times 15 feet of rope.
Okay.
Yeah, taking off like the burnt ends and
Yeah.
parts that are more stuffed.
15.
All right, so you manage this.
Could also mend it back together, probably.
True.
And is a spell.
And she has it. All
Oh,
right.
isn't that
So now you have a guest sleeping in your bed.
Yes.
Drooling, actually. And when you look at her, you do notice that she has a bit of an odd position. Her head is slightly tilted in an unnatural way. It feels like she's going to have a bit of a strained muscles in her neck. But you didn't twist her head off. Don't worry.
I'll make sure she lays more comfortable.
All right.
what?
She lays
Like
you on her
you-
bed.
Like, yeah, she remakes my neck like straight as I'm lying down.
Yeah.
No, it's just that with what she rolled, when she tried to roll over, your head sort of got stuck in a bad position. So you're probably going to wake up with a very uncomfortable, tense feeling on one side of your head.
I don't think I'll feel it compared with the hangover, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, a hangover with a huge muscle pain in your neck. I think they're going to add to one another. Anything else you want to do? Or are you ready to go to sleep?
Putting a blanket over her, making sure she's clean and not drooling anymore, and cleaning myself.
Well, you're not soiled. You just have a bit of spit coming down your neck.
Still cleaning that off. Actually, we're in the need of a shower, so I'll need use the orb to wash myself.
All right. And then?
Taking my bedroll and sleeping on the floor.
All right. All right. So we go back to audience and Remy and Caravat. No, not Caravat. Sorry, Kaharthane. All right. So you're all sitting at this table with a lonely mug of weird slimy green stuff. Audience with your mug.
Well, I finished it, because I finished it when she pounded it. But
All
yes.
right. Oh, you,
I slammed mine also. It just didn't matter.
well, you can make a Constitution saving throw. The DC is going to be pretty low.
All right.
You didn't ask for something that was
13.
13. That's good enough. So you take it. You know, it wasn't really good, like you said earlier, but.
Yeah.
And Remy, you sit at the table, bit confused and intrigued. You see audience, and you see the same odd fellow who just told you and Valtteri how to use a board while you knew that it was actually for audience, but you know.
Nobody needs to know that.
Well, that was different.
Our party's an interesting bunch. How are you doing, Remy? Did you guys get the reward?
He nods his head and pulls out the bag for you. Just like holds it up for the horde.
I'll take it. I'll be like, oh, thank you. This is more than I expected. Very, very nice.
Makes symbol of the dragon.
I will also go for the dragon.
Oh,
Don't worry. My plan is to get you a symbol. I will find a smith either tomorrow or the next day. Probably tomorrow. I'll do quickly. I'll try and find you something that will show it.
He repeats in your voice, for the dragon.
Fisher, when you decided to go back to your room, did you go back from from around the rim, or did you take the arboretum and then go to your quarter?
Whatever shortest route, probably.
It would probably be the rim, meaning that you'd pass through the inn on your way to your quarters. And so you would arrive in the inn just as Remy makes the symbol of the dragon religion. And so you immediately notice that there's audience, Remy, this construct fellow, all wearing armor. The one that was there when you went up to see that you crossed on your way up. He's there sitting at their table.
Just so I'm not confusing things. This is who Theodrin was describing,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
In that case, I will actually, walk up. I
Hey, we
see
have a
you
new.
finally got a follower. Audience.
Yes, Remy has embraced the light and power of the dragons.
Well, dragons are pretty powerful creatures.
Cool.
Remy illusions up a chest full of gold and jewels.
Yeah, they also like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, that can happen. Good to see you again, Carthane.
Yeah. I don't remember talking to you before, but I remember seeing you.
You. I mean. I was just in the library talking to Theodrin, and she said something kind of interesting.
Really?
She said you were with the garden when it first embarked.
Well, I'm not sure what you mean. Of course, I was with the garden when it came here. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
It's just, said you're one of the ones who's been here the longest.
Oh, in term of raw age. Well, most likely. I don't exactly know how old the garden is. But I know it was salvaged from the war, so it's yeah, most likely. But it was salvaged from the war, so I'm not sure when exactly it was built. Most likely closer to the beginning of the war than the end. While my species was made more toward the first third of the war. It's a bit hard. If you talked about the war, I'm pretty sure she told you that there's no actual record of when it started.
She didn't actually say anything about a war. She just said there was some sort of apocalyptic event.
Yeah. There was a lot of things with that. War was one. It's one way to see it. It's how we chose to see it. It's because of everyone that awoke said. We were built to protect those who can't protect themselves. By those who had lost faith, the war could end. This is why we call it a war.
Fair enough. So then, how old does that make you?
Well, that's a big question. I personally don't remember more than the last time I came back. So I'd say my memories goes maybe close to 200 years. But my body itself, most likely. Hello, everyone. Sorry, we had a bit of a power problem here. Everything went dark for 2 seconds, just long enough for everything to shut down. And because of that, we had to wait until the router restarted itself. So we're just missing one person. Hold on, we're gonna try and get him back.
Why don't I see your... Okay, wait. 1 second. Oh, no, there we go.
All right. Whew. Well, sorry for that odd thing. All right. Do we actually? All right.
A little bit too late for 1st of April prank.
Yeah. Well, it happens.
Oof. Well.
Raimi.
Oh well. Well, I don't know if he's gonna come back or not.
He's just mesmerized by audience. So,
Yeah,
it's not too bad.
we're gonna go with that
Mhm.
until he comes back. I'm gonna just try and get him back on the group.
Oh, he's not getting the join call button.
Uh,
That happened to me once too. Skype, be a little
Mhm.
finicky with that.
oh, there we go.
There we go.
I didn't know if I initiated a call, if it would just kick you all out. So
That's right. Right now, we only have your voice. We don't have your video.
why? Why? Oh, that. Oh, I'm an idiot. That's why.
Don't talk to yourself like that. You're not
So,
doing
chat,
it.
how's life?
Phew. Well, while Remy is fixing his camera, aha, there you go. All right. Well, like I said, we had a bit of a power problem here. Everything went dark for just long enough for everything to shut down. So we're at least going to finish the phrase that we had started when everything went down, and we're gonna end the stream in a few minutes. So, what were you saying just before I was plunged into darkness?
I was asking him what he meant by I think because he's saying something about he can only remember as far back as like the last time he returned or something.
Okay.
I was asking him what he meant by that.
Well, it's a bit part of our nature. I'm sure you've heard about spells, which allows you to come back, but as something else. If you die, you are reborn, but you might actually change race, change sex, change everything, basically. It's similar to that. It's been incorporated in our design. So basically, we always come back in our own body, but with a different personality. We only remember since we were brought back. But to the best of my knowledge, there weren't any new units like me made after the original construction. So I was there in the very beginning, I just can't remember it.
What? What's the point of bringing someone back if they can't remember anything?
Because we were built to protect those who can't protect themselves. We come back knowing what we need to fight. It is the army whose number never dwindle. But we will forget everything we were. Every time. We can always rise up and protect those who needs to be protected. But that is it.
Huh. That's... Yeah. Well, I'm gonna
I'm
head to
sorry.
bed.
I think I made you uncomfortable. It's our world has such a long history and so many things. There's also a limitation to what I can tell you. The war was long, and people got desperate. They didn't know where to go. They stopped believing that they would one day win. And the war
guess-
was apocalyptic in proportion.
I
Can
guess.
you imagine a challenge which would force every single species in your world to band into a single army, leaving behind all hatred and all mistrust in the name of survival? That is what we survived.
I guess I'm just. There's past 2 hours. Learned some ominous things. You said so. You were built to fight that war.
Yes.
And you say you always come back because it still needs to be fought.
No, it doesn't. But there's no way to end this.
Okay. Just
We were built by those who had forgotten, who had lost hope that the war would end. So we weren't built with the knowledge of what to do once it ended
okay. So it is over.
a long time ago.
So it's not gonna follow
No,
anything here.
no.
Okay.
The last remnant of the war ended nearly 5,000 years ago. Everyone started to rebuild, and old hatred found their way back. Rivalries and everything that you could expect from a world. But there was a lot of forgotten arts, a lot of things that were left behind that were found when everyone started to recolonize our own world. The garden was one of those. One of those fortress who, longer than Draken's memory, had been built to fight in this war.
So you said it ended around 5,000 years ago.
For
What?
us.
Yeah, I guess that's what really happened near the end.
Near the end?
Like, because you said it was apocalyptic.
A group of heroes rose up. A group of heroes who hadn't been part of the war, who wasn't part of our world. They noticed things. They realized why the war was never ending. And they broke the cycle.
I guess just I'm seeing the I just had this strange idea pop into my head that Shattered Continent's only been around for about that long. And
Yeah.
I mean, our general creation myth is that somehow escaped something and then crashed.
Well,
So I was just thinking it'd be kind of funny if that war is what we escaped.
well, it could be. Which would mean that you spent a lot of time in the space between worlds, which would explain why your perception of time was altered. Because you basically arrived here as the war was ending. So you would have left before. But we can't remember when the war started. So if you were part of those who tried to survive in the very beginning, it means that your continent was actually much older than the world that you are in right now. But probably doesn't feel that way.
That's probably not that important anyway.
As you
It's
say
fun
that,
to think about.
As you say that, there is a warden that comes behind Caharthane, and he puts his hand on his shoulder, and yeah, I know. There are things which we can't speak of.
I didn't want to get you in trouble or anything.
Oh, don't worry about it. I haven't actually said anything. He just came to remind me that I can't say more than what I've said.
Yep, fair enough. Well, y'all have fun. I'm gonna go head to bed.
Oh,
I'll see you two in the morning.
all right.
Pointing
Well,
at Raimi
bye.
and audience, and I'll head out.
At least in a voice that Fisher would recognize, Raimi says, "Until the morning then, my friend."
Recognize as something Raimi said before, or
No, just just in a voice that you've only heard once before.
all right.
All right. Audience and Remy, you find yourself again alone in front of Caharthane. Is there anything else you'd like to ask him more than what was said?
Audience just was like, what?
Or dumps.
What did
Raimi
you
puts
want-
up a minor illusion of the night sky and points at it.
Oh, that's an interesting sky.
I'll kind of chuckle. I'll be like, well, that's Fisher. He's more of our business over pleasure person in our party.
Oh, he's probably finding pleasures another way.
I would not know.
Well,
Raimi pulls out a gem and lets it shine in light.
yeah, there's that. But he doesn't strike me as someone who would.
Raimi just kind of like puts a towel underneath his beak, thinking about that. We gotta show
Remembering
him the
that
good life.
remember that most of the time when Fisher's found something shiny, he's just given it to Raimi to hold.
So that was a bit of a gloomy conversation. I know that our history is a bit dark, but the important thing is that we came out of it, and we are alive.
Here's to that. I don't have any more drink. I just really can't really make a toast.
Oh, well, that's alright. We can always ask for one. He turns around and just waves at the person that just left. Yeah, he wants another one. The same thing or something else?
Definitely something else.
Something else.
Something less sweet.
Something less sweet. Yeah, alright, he's gonna try. So, there was something you wanted to talk to me about.
Yes. And for the life of me, I can't remember what that was. So long.
Audience just had too much fun throughout the night. Now he's just there and, yeah, I wanted to talk to you about something.
I think the elf's okay.
What even? Like, I literally have no memory of what it was.
Maybe we covered everything.
No, I'm
like
sure there was
questing
something
related.
I don't even know.
Trying to ditch us and join their group.
No. Yes. Okay. I'd bring Raimi with me. No.
So maybe something about the board, something about the quest, something about the world.
I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing. It was from like last session, and there was something that I was like, oh, I wanted to talk to him about, and now I have no memory of what it was.
You should write those things.
Yeah. I'm like, there definitely was a reason I was trying to meet him, and not just be friendly, but I don't remember it.
Maybe since Remy has another construct in front of him, he's going to again put up the night sky and say, in that same voice from before, "What do you see when you look up at the sky, Raimi?"
Well, it's an interesting sky. But it's not my sky.
Alright. This is like, this is too much. I need to go to bed. I can't remember why I invited him here.
Oh, all right. Do you still want your drink?
Yes. Oh, there was one question. Do you know if a lady by the name of Temptress is in the garden right now?
I think so.
Okay. If you see her, could you let her know that audience is back and wants to talk to her? If she doesn't remember my name, it's the large dragonborn.
Oh, I'm sure she's gonna remember. She remembers everyone. You know, her name is Temptress, so she remembers.
I don't know. Okay.
Raimi blinks.
Raimi, as you blink, Kaharthe notices it, and he turns toward you and says, well, she does say, and she said it several times in the last few days, because a lot of people felt, let's just say, entitled to something. And his voice changes, and you literally hear Temptress's voice say, oh, sweetie, they call me Temptress, not Lust.
That's fine. It's not why I wanted to talk to her.
Raimi has learned to do phrase.
Oh God,
Just-
no.
Achievement unlocked.
Just keeps one word, just looks at audience. Lust, 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 lust.
And he takes back his normal voice and says to Remy, so don't yet get your hopes up.
He just kind of like cocks his head in confusion.
right. Well, thank you. I guess I will take my drink and then drink it. Do some probably more small talk, but nothing important, and then go to
All
bed.
Remy, is there anything you'd like to add to this?
It's like Raimi kind of like looking at the drink, kind of like eyes audience.
And
Okay.
keeps mumbling lust.
Does he say anything? Or does he just lie?
He points at the drink.
Do you want to try it?
It's like do straws exist in this world?
That's actually a very good question. It takes a bit of skill. Well, in the Shattered Continent, most likely not, but in the garden, they could, but they'd be made out of metal.
Back
Well, that's just
then
like he was basically going to like minor illusion the image of a straw.
I don't
Wasn't-
have one of those.
Wasn't it like back then that you just took what was it called again? Quickly have to.
But the last time that you saw Draby drink something was like literally like pour it into his beak.
Do you want me to pour it down your throat? I could do that. I don't have a straw.
He now knows you want me to pour it down your throat. Good job.
Wasn't a straw literally back then a straw like the?
Okay, you know what? He probably would have heard this phrase. You mind if I have a swig?
Yes.
but yes,
do you
you're
want
right.
do you want a straw or do you want me to pour it down your throat? Pick one.
You know, like thinking.
Feed him
something
mama
like
bird, baby bird style.
Well, I mean, the straw was supposed to be more of a metaphor, so he picks the latter.
Oh, okay. I will take the drink and I'll make sure he's ready. And then when he's ready, I'll tip the drink down his throat.
So you don't even know what's inside the drink, but anyway, you just pour a part of the drink down Remy's gullet.
You want to try it?
All right. So Remy, that drink really isn't your taste. You did hear Caharthane say bring something different, so it's not the exact same thing. You don't know if audience knows what this is. Is Remy more of a sweet, sour, bitter alcohol drinker?
I would imagine that he probably would have been more inclined towards the sweet variety.
Do you like my last drink?
Then in that case, with what I rolled, it's so bitter. It's strong and bitter. I rolled a 4. You really don't like this.
Yeah, you see, you kind of like obviously his beak can't really do much malformations, but you definitely see his eyes scrunch up.
Don't seem to like it. That's okay. I'll finish it off and I'll take a big swig of the drink.
Like I said, it's
Sure.
stronger, a bit more bitter, bites a bit more in the back of your
How do I
jaw.
like bitter drinks? Yeah, I'm okay with them. It's like I'm pretty solid. Like it's not my favorite, but I don't hate it.
All right. So you love spicy. You're cool with bitter. You really hate sweet. We get a good idea of what kind of alcohol audience like now.
Like spicy would probably be Raimi's number 2 because it's both pleasant but also interesting.
And it's the one that audience like. All right, so you all finish the evening, have a little bit of talk, and you all go back to your beds, ready to finish the night with interesting, odd, disturbing new memories, depending on who you are.
Um,
Yes.
Before it ends, Anvar is going to crawl as much as she can over to the edge of the bed, looking over to Valtteri. I have a question for you. If Sonic and Tails were to have sex, which one would get pregnant?
Would I be on? And how long have I already been sleeping as you do that?
It's most likely a good hour and a half, 2 hours. So basically, he catches you just as you're starting to drift and getting very comfortable, and suddenly you hear that being said. Or the Shattered Continent equivalent of a small rodent coming from a story spoken by a bard, creature that can move
it's just
very
complete
fast.
nonsense. Like, I'm saying names. No one knows who the fuck I'm talking about.
I know.
I don't know who they are.
I slowly turn my head to him and I'm like, what?
It's okay. It's raining tomorrow. It doesn't matter. I go back to sleep.
Also,
Valtteri,
just for the sake of making a roll tonight, with a 21 stealth, would Raimi have been able to follow audience to figure out where he lives before he went to bed?
Okay.
Christ.
with a 21 stealth, well, I'd
That
say
beats my passive perception. I'll
no.
take
Yeah,
much.
that beats his passive perception easily. So you can easily figure out where he sleeps.
Well, now he wanted to know where he lives. You didn't have to put that implication tonight.
Tonight. Oh goodness, we can't give Raimi the charm person spell. We can't. So, all right.
Rest of this audience.
So you all, Remy, you follow audience creepily inside the corridor, and you see which room he enters, and then you go back to your own room with a grin on your face. And as you're all sleeping, we'll end with this. Audience, when you fall asleep, you're comfortably in your own room, and then just fall down and had a pleasant evening. It was fun, weird, awkward, courageous. A good evening for a Dragonborn, in a few words. Your eyes slowly start to drift, and you open them up again, and you're outside. But you're sitting on the floor, and sitting on the grass, and it takes a moment, but then you have this thought, hey, this is a dream. I was in my room before. Now I'm not. It's a dream. I know it's a dream. Then you hear something shuffling in your backpack.
Okay, I would check my backpack.
You turn around, and just as you're about to reach for your backpack, you see your backpack being dragged a little and then turned upside down. And as it's being turned upside down, you do see what's on the other side. There is a small dragon, maybe 2 feet tall, standing on its hind leg, and it's just pouring everything out of your bag like this. And it grabs the huge bag of money. And then you see a huge grin on his face. He looks at you. He looks at the bag. He looks at you. He looks at the bag. He turns it upside down and just lets it all fall on the grass. And you see him start to tap on it and then spread it a little. And you see him just walk over it and coil around on it. And oh, this feels good.
Audience looks at the new dragon like you look like when you've just gotten a new kitten. He goes, adorable.
And he even rubs his head a bit inside the gold and the silver, and oh, there's a lot of copper in there. It's more fun when it's gold, but it's comfortable.
There's platinum too.
Yeah, I can smell them. It's right here, and he shoves his hand inside the pile of gold and takes it out on his first try. Yeah. You see him lick it? It's a bit old.
I have not spent money recently. You know us dragons, we like to hoard.
Yeah. Well, as a matter of fact, do you have any gems?
I feel like I should have some, but I don't remember. Did I write them in other? Let me look. Question. I don't know if I have any gems. I still have some of the chunks of dragonite, though. If he wants to look at those.
Oh, that's. He looks. He takes the big piece that you have. Oh, that's interesting. Feels like I'm watching my own tombstone. Puts it back on the ground. I'd really much rather have gems.
I will. If I weren't dreaming, I'd say I'll try and get you some gems, but I know this is a dream, although a good one.
Oh, that's good. Well, maybe for next time. Maybe you could bring gems.
I will try and bring some gems.
Make a perception roll, please.
Okay, I'm great at those.
You see a Kenku running off.
I got a 15. It's
15.
very solid for me.
Just as he says that, you see his eyes blink, and you notice that the eyes are the exact same color as the two gems on your bracelet.
Interesting.
You wake up on that.
I need to go get myself some gems.
Remy, your dream is slightly odd, but then again, you're used to having disjointed dreams. You find yourself in a dark environment. There's nothing around you. It's complete darkness. You feel a bit of bad anticipation come in. Just, what's going on? What's happening? Feel a bit of nervousness, but then you see a light appearing in front of you. A bright light. What do you do?
Well, Raimi is obviously going to run toward the light, not stay in this dark bullshit.
So you run toward this light, and as you arrive, you notice that it's your lantern. It's emitting a light, roughly similar to that of a light cantrip in strength. And you look at the lamp for a moment, and you notice that all of the gems except one on it are a bit dark, but one of them is bright, polished, shiny. You see your hand slowly emitting arcane energy, just like right before you throw a spell. Then you see that energy leave your hand and go inside the lamp, and the gem lights up. And you see the lamp become even brighter. You have, for a moment, right beside you, the image of an hourglass. And you see it starting trickling the sand. Make an intelligence roll.
Yeah, that's about what I expected. 18.
18? Alright. You look at the hourglass, and it feels like it's gonna take several hours to completely empty itself. And you get the feeling that the image of the hourglass is related to the lantern. And then finally, lanterns emits a warm feeling. And you see the energy leave the gem, go back into your hand. And you don't know why, but you just open your hand right in front of you and you see a sparkle of different colors just boom in front of you. And then stay there for a while. And then slowly fade. You wake up with this. And it feels like your lantern just spoke to you about what it can offer you. I'll send you more information on it after. Fisher, you're the last one whose object was awakened during these quests. So for you, it's a bit different, the awakening of this, as you are going into your sentry rest, and you spent the entire night just looking at the wall, and eventually you hear a buzzing coming from your backpack. I think you said your sphere was in your backpack? Or did you leave it inside your chest?
No, I put it back.
So you
In
hear
my
buzzing
chest,
coming
yeah.
from your backpack.
I will go look in it.
You rummage through it, and you said that the appearance of the orb changed when it awoke. So what does it look like right now?
Yeah. Fuck, I gotta go find it. Hold up.
Mwahaha! History notes.
I feel like I saved it somewhere else, so I wouldn't have to do this, but I have no idea where I would have done that.
That's all right.
So.
You can describe it next time when we start the stream. But you look at it, and it's shinier. The gems, the
there it
ornate
is.
gems around it is brighter. And you see the iris is no longer rusted shut. What do you do with it? It's buzzing, humming.
I'll stick it in my chest.
So you take a few moments and you just rearrange your armor, put it there, and oddly enough, it doesn't take an hour for it to absorb as it would normally would. You just place it in front and it, on its own, slides in, and you hear the iris opens. And then you hear a voice in your head. Oh, God, it's been so long. What have they stuck me in? Hold on. There's a conscience here. Oh no, don't tell me they put me in one of those gnomish things again. Who are you?
Excuse you.
Why would
who
I
are
be
you?
excused?
This is my head.
No, it's mine. I'm pretty sure. I've been living in it for all my life.
Were you in the little ball?
What do you mean, in the little ball?
Are you the little ball?
What do you mean, little?
Fits in my hand.
Well, if you want to put it that way. Yeah, I am. What of it? Are you the one
well-
using it?
Yes. That would be me. Hello, I'm Fisher. What's
Oh.
your name?
Feels like I'm in an anonymous meeting. Hello, my name is Taranad. And I am a living object. Is that what you wanted to hear?
Sure. I mean, that's kind
Alright,
of
so
what
there is a soul, but not much intelligence. Well, we've established that. So what's your
Wow.
deal? Where are you? What are you doing? Why exactly am I talking to you? Why did they place me in here? How long has it been? What year is it? Because the last time there were no conscious you.
That's a good question. What year is it?
If I remember correctly, it's 1493.
Hey.
After the Aberration War.
1493?
After the Aberration
After
War.
the aberration. Yeah, I'll say that.
Wow! I've been asleep for 300 years? I missed a lot. So I guess in the last 300
Probably.
years, construct have started to gain awareness, although intelligence is still to be seen.
Roasted.
Well, you're fucking rude.
I'm rude? Did I wake you up in the middle of your sleep?
Yes. You started buzzing.
Alright, fair enough. So I guess we're gonna be stuck together now, huh?
I mean, yeah. I would assume so. Also, who's this they you keep talking about? They put you in here. Nobody put you in here.
So it's your fault, huh? So no, it's also your fault. That's nice to know. At least I know who I have to blame.
Oh, I mean, I found you like a week ago in, oh, having weird dreams. Some shit with some god reawakening. I don't know.
Well, that's not creepy at all. You've been dreaming about
Strings
me.
of fate.
Good lord.
Some
All right.
weird
Well,
shit.
I guess we're gonna have time to make friends. Are you at least traveling with people who are worthwhile?
Depends what your definition of worthwhile means.
Oh, goodness. Let me go into your memory then. Hold on.
Hold up.
Oh,
What?
God. No. Are they really your friends? You're the smartest one of the group? Oh. Jeez.
Ray is insulted.
Raimi can't talk.
Oh, does that make him dumb then?
All right, well, I guess
I
we
see how
don't-
it is.
I guess I don't really have much choice. All right, then.
I mean, you always have a choice, but
Well, it's
like
not like I have hands, you know.
exactly.
That's why they put me inside construct, because I don't actually have feet and hands. I have one eye and a memory.
Wait, would you normally control the constructs?
Usually, I could at least control part of it.
Okay. Well, first ground rule. No.
Well,
No,
apparently
doing
I
that.
don't have a choice on that, because I just tried and you still said a stupid thing. So, I can't control you.
Well, good to know. If that's the case. I'm sure we'll eventually get along fine. As long as, you're useful.
Oh, I'm useful. Oh, goodness. I really hope you can at least walk to one point without someone giving you orders. Puppet.
I was just gonna, you know what? Fine. And I'll just storm out the door and just start walking.
He doesn't
See?
even realize
Look,
I'm...
ta-da, I can walk without being told to.
Oh,
Look at that.
wow. Birds can talk doesn't mean they're intelligent. You can walk doesn't mean you're useful.
Dude, I wish birds could talk.
I'd rather deal with Craven Edge in this fucking thing. Oh my god.
You did tell me you wanted him to have a bad attitude.
I did. And it's funny. Okay.
And so you wake up realizing you're stuck with this thing. But it also comes with powers, which you will be made aware of off stream. I will send you the list of these things. But right now, just as things starts to coalesce inside your mind, you do realize, you have a feeling that you have increased knowledge. And it's accessible only because of your sphere. And you feel an increased magical thing about you. As if you had a greater ability to cast spell. This is all I can say from the feeling that you get from this. I will send you the information of what it actually means.
Cool.
Alright, so this is everything I wanted to cover for this one. Anva and Valtteri, you still need to awaken your object.
Yes.
But
Have you
this
tried
will-
smelling salts?
Question is, how will I
Baffled.
do that? I mean, I once got it to talk to me, but
Yes. Well, you can always ask around. Apparently, there were a few who knew more than the group of how to awaken these. So you can always ask around. You can ask your friends. You can meditate on it. All right. Well, this is all for tonight. So thank you, everyone, for watching. If you came back after the 5-minute power out that we had, well, thank you very much. If not, well, you will be able to have everything without this 5-minute break that you had. When I'll upload it to a YouTube, it will be in a single episode, so don't worry about it. So this is it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you laughed a lot. I certainly noticed that a lot of the group actually found it very funny, so I hope it was the same for all of you watching. And as always, if you enjoyed the show, support us. It means a lot. You can simply follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. And remember, if we reach 50 followers on Twitch, I will be able to activate subscription. And with that, maybe a few new interesting things. If you are an artist, you can always send me a small message on our Twitter. I might actually be interested in having emotes made for the channel. So it's been said, and if you are one of those person, I would appreciate very much if you send me a little message. Or you can send it by email. There's also the email on the window below. You can also support us by making a donation or becoming a Patreon, and as always, spreading the word of the channel. So, until next Wednesday, stay safe, and especially in those times right now, stay healthy. Bye!
Bye.
See you.